Hello, my name is Dave Cottle, and for my second educational showcase for application, I will be going over Explain Everything. Explain Everything is an application which can be used on iOS, Chrome, Google, or Android systems. The parent site is www.explaineverything.com. It allows for anybody to create learning lessons or projects for all types of material and information. This can be applied in schools, businesses, government, and medical industries, as well as just for personal use. The application is a highly advanced interactive whiteboard. It could be said that it can be considered a screencasting tool since you are able to narrate and display the contents of the screen and then export it out as slides or video. Like VoiceThread, it is an asynchronous mode of teaching or sharing of information and allows people separated by space and time to still interact and engage with one another and the subject matter being shared. In a moment, I will show you how I will use Explain Everything to demonstrate a simple chemistry concept. I will be able to show you slide shots and screenshots of slides as I progress through the project, ultimately showing you the finished thing. But first, I want to explain how it can be used in teaching and learning, or the application of theories that could be used with Explain Everything. Explain Everything can be used with great effect in learning if the developer utilizes Mayer's theory of multimedia learning. The most basic premise of Mayer's theory is that there are two main channels for learning, audio and visual, and that these channels have finite capacities and that learning is an active process of filtering, selecting, organizing, and integrating information. Mayer's theory also coincides well with cognitive load theory, where Sweller argues that there are three main types of cognitive load, that being intrinsic, extrinsic, and germane. Just as a review, intrinsic is the load that is associated with the learning of the information itself. Extrinsic load is the burden placed by the developers upon the learners, and we want to minimize that. Germane load is what developers should maximize in order to promote better learning and memory creation and the retention of the information being shared. Explain Everything can be used in both ways, either with Mayer's theory, Sweller's theory, or even together, in order to share information with others and assist in their learning, by specifically addressing the audio and visual channels and by balancing the various types of cognitive load for ideal learning experiences. Here I'm going to run through how I created a project, or how one would use a project. This picture in front of you is actually one of the home screens for Explain Everything, and there's a highlighted blue little pencil tab right here. Let me just show that to you there. That tab allowed me to open a new project where I could choose from a landscape or portrait, blank from a template, or other pictures or documents. I actually chose template, and you can see the blue checked background behind you. And that's the template I chose. Here I'm going to show you, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to create a little program of learning where I try to teach you how to remember the gas laws equations. This is significant for people in the healthcare industry or basic chemistry industries as well. The three main gas laws we're going to worry about today are Charles's law, Gay-Lussac's law, and Boyle's law. And you can see where I wrote this over here using the text tool, and I just circled it using the draw tool in my drawing stylus. So now to the left, I double tapped the letter A, which is going to give me a text box, and I'm going to double tap the text box and go ahead and write some things. Okay, so here to the right, I've added the definition of Boyle's law, Charles's law, and Gay-Lussac's law. I will now use the drawing tool to create a visual mnemonic to remember this. Now, obviously, the point is not for you guys to actually remember these laws. I'm just trying to show you how we can utilize this application to implement Mayer's multimedia theory of learning, as well as trying to utilize the appropriate cognitive loads. So what I'm doing right now is drawing a triangle here. I'm going to go ahead and label my triangle. And as you see down below the triangle, I wrote the mnemonic out. Can these guys possibly be violinists? Starting with the C on the right-hand side of the triangle and going in a clockwise fashion. So at the right, looking at Boyle's law, at a constant temperature, gas volume varies inversely with pressure. So Boyle's law is here, and the constant of temperature, T, is directly across from Boyle's law. So that means the varying gas parameters are going to be pressure and volume. So pressure's here and volume's here. Likewise, with Charles's law below, we're going to see C for Charles is here directly across from him. His constant is pressure. As it says, at a constant pressure, a volume of gas is directly proportional to the temperature. So here we have the volume, and now down here we have the temperature. So we have C equals VT, and we see how C is splitting this here. Lastly, we have Guy-Lussac's law, indicated by the G over here. His constant, in case you guessed it, is yes, volume. Volume is directly across from him. So at a constant volume, the pressure here of the gas is directly proportional to the temperature. So G equals P over T at a constant volume. In order to spare you guys, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. I just wanted to show you guys how we could use this for a learning application. I think I kind of got a little bit too deep into it, and this is going to wrap me up here actually for our presentation and educational showcase for these applications. Thank you for your time and patience, and I appreciate it if you made it all the way through the end. And hopefully you guys can use Explain Everything to great effect for your own class or issues or training needs. Thanks.